From a young age, for all of us, there's those sayings and life lessons that stuck with us. For me, it's the iconic "you miss 100% of the shots you don't take" by Michael Scott. For Chris Brown, it was Uncle Joe's iconic line, 1-800-CHOKE THAT hoe. Yeah, I think he took that one a little too far. And for Joey Gallo, it's the saying "chicks dig the long ball" by Tom Glavine and Greg Maddux. I was right now years old when I found out that they came up with that saying. I'm very ignorant. But for Gallo, I mean, bro made it his life's mission to avoid doing anything other than hitting home runs for the rest of his life. The idea of a hitter like Joey Gallo would have never survived, I don't think, years ago. If you value batting average in any way, you'd treat him like he has AIDS. I mean, there's no getting around just how odd of a hitter Gallo was, but also oddly productive despite completely throwing stuff like batting average out the window. But all these years later, I guess it's gotten to a point where he needs a change of scenery. And not from a team standpoint. He's already been doing that. From a positioning standpoint, the man wants to move to the mound. Really quick as always, if you're part of the 51% of viewers not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button if you enjoy the videos, as Joey Gallo is always pretty hyped up. He was a first-round draft pick, top prospect in the Rangers organization, and eventually became the fastest player in American League history to reach 100 home runs, doing so in his 377th career game. That's all it took. His game was just ridiculous. When I said Gallo made it his life's mission to only hit home runs, I meant it. He avoided singles like the plague. It really is fascinating. In 2017, his rookie season, he hit 41 home runs and 23 singles. Yes, he almost doubled the amount of singles he had with home runs. In 2018, a lot more singles, 38, but still more home runs with 40. 2019, he was an all-star, hit a home run in the all-star game, because of course he did, and then missed the rest of the season shortly after. 2021, his last year in Texas, he was really good. Oddly enough, he actually had more singles than home runs, but he still had pop, smacking 25 home runs in 95 games before getting traded to the Yankees, and that's where things have never been the same. For whatever reason, Gallo has never been the hitter he was in Texas once leaving Texas. After a great first half at the Rangers in 2021, he was awful to finish the year in New York, hitting 160 to close out the year, although for him it's not like a bad batting average indicates his game is off, but 160 is still really bad. In his best seasons in Texas, Gallo's batting average was usually in the low 200s. It was like in the 250s in 2019, but he missed half the season. If he played more of that season, like the full season, it definitely goes down. But it still would have been probably a good year overall. But this was a new level of bad, though, with the Yankees, especially when he didn't provide enough power to make up for it, which is, of course, the only way to make up for an awful batting average. 2022 continued exactly the same. Gallo was awful, a strikeout machine, and playing in New York, honestly, became a nightmare for him. As we all know, you could be Christ himself, and if you strike out like one time, you're gonna get booed. So imagine the reception Joey Gallo got for striking out most of the time. He wasn't shy about how it affected him either, saying he doesn't go out in the streets, he doesn't want to show his face, and it all really ate him up inside. All the adversity he faced, he was questioning himself, his confidence plummeted. He said it was rock bottom, and even acknowledged how when opposing players would try to give him encouragement with all the boos from Yankee fans, even that wasn't great, because in his words, their pity makes me feel like a piece of you know what, and that he's the problem. Jeez, yeah, I don't think Joey Gallo was a big Yankee guy. This 5-second clip pretty much sums his time in New York up well.
Sorry.
About a year after getting traded there, he'd get traded out of there to the Dodgers, where it looked like he might get fixed. I mean, the Dodgers have a knack for doing that. Tell me how they took Jason Hayward, who failed to have a single good season with the Cubs, and no, 2020 doesn't count, and had him put up one of the best seasons of his entire career in 2023. And this happened after Gallo was there, but that's just an example of the magic the Dodgers tend to have to fix players. So when Gallo started off his time in LA with an OPS over 1,000 in his first 14 games, you're thinking he's back. They fixed him until he fell right back off the face of the planet and finished the last 30 games of the year hitting 122 with an OPS half of 1,000. He's now a free agent, or the Minnesota Twins picked him up, and he was just I mean, if you look at everything other than his batting average, you look at his batting average, you think he'd belong in a Chinese league. But no, I mean, he was just all right. Exactly league average from a production standpoint before becoming a free agent again and signing another one-year deal with the Nationals. And he was just straight up bad for them. 10 home runs isn't going to cut it for a 161 batting average. So back on the open market he went after 2024, where the best job he could find was a minor league contract with the worst team in baseball right now, coming off one of the worst seasons in the sport's history. But still, Nothing, not even in spring training, and it got so bad to the point where Gallo said screw it and asked for his release from the team before making a post on Instagram and Twitter of his defensive highlights from the outfield with a caption reading, "It's been fun, outfield." But the most interesting part of the clip, the very last part, it shows him pitching, and he confirmed any suspicions by responding to his own tweet immediately and saying, "Just to be clear, I will be pitching." And I remember at first glance seeing this, I took it as a joke, but no, it's real. At this point, he's basically a failed version of Kyle Schwarber. Schwarber hits the same way, awful batting average, great power. He's just been better at it, although he's actually raised his batting average. He went from a productive 47 home run, 104 RBI season with a 197 average in 2023 to another productive season with 38 home runs, another 104 RBIs, but he raised his batting average all the way up to 253 in 2024. He also walked the most times in the National League last year. So he's really good, even though he doesn't really hit for an average at all and he strikes out a ton. Joey Gallo just couldn't quite keep up with that kind of style of hitting, so he said to hell with hitting altogether. Time to try the other side, and he's a pitcher now. At least he's gonna try to be. We really got Joey Gallo the pitcher before GTA 6. I'm just hoping he doesn't end up a realtor.
Hi, are you the realtor for this property?
I am. I blew out my shoulder playing minor league baseball, so now I do this.
Realtors, never anyone's plan A.
By judging his arm, he showed off a bit in the outfield. He obviously should be able to throw very hard off the mound, but of course pitching is much more than just that. But this won't be the first time he's pitching in his life. He pitched in high school and was hitting 94, 95 miles an hour. Again, yeah, that's from high school and more than 10 years ago. This definitely has been something Gallo's thought about for at least a minute now, trying out pitching, although it actually would have been funny if he made this decision on the spot, like 5 minutes before he tweeted that stuff out. But regardless of how long he's been thinking about this, Gallo is relatively at square one. He hasn't pitched at any level in a long time, so there's of course a lot he needs to do to become a competent pitcher, let alone a big league pitcher, but I'm rooting for him. Joey Gallo's always seemed like a pretty stand-up guy, and even though I will miss him hitting 180 with 40 home runs, all of them being absolute rockets and boom bombs, I'm intrigued to see where this pitching journey of his goes. Let me know your thoughts and thank you for watching.